Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever you're watching this, welcome back to the Mr. Sinn channel. Today we start Unit 6 by reviewing the origins and influences of urbanization. To start, let's review the difference between site factors and situation factors. When thinking about site factors, think about the climate, natural resources, or the absolute location of a place. Site factors are things that are located where the place is. Site factors often help determine what types of activities will happen at a place, or where a settlement will be located. For example, one of the reasons why the Fertile Crescent saw the creation of civilizations such as Mesopotamia and the first agricultural revolution was because of the site factors that exist in the area. Fun fact, Mesopotamia was actually one of the 6 hearths of urbanization in the world, as you can see here. Now, the Fertile Crescent is located between the Tigris and the Euphrates River. In fact, it is the site factors and the location of this region which set it apart from others. This region has access to fresh water and arable land, which allowed for sedentary agriculture to not only start in the region, but remain stable. As society in the region gained access to more of a stable food supply and had access to fresh water, it saw job specialization start to occur, since people now could do other jobs besides hunting and gathering. This allowed for a hierarchy to form and a complex society to take off. Now, in thinking about situation factors, think about rivers, roads, relative location, or other things that are near a place and impact its development. Situation factors describe a place in terms of its relation to surrounding places. If we go back to Mesopotamia, we can see situation factors such as the Mediterranean Sea or the Persian Gulf, which allowed for trade between different regions. Speaking of trade, we can see that the Fertile Crescent and Mesopotamia are located in the middle of key trade routes between Asia, Europe, and Africa. This allowed for the exchange of goods and ideas, which allowed for the development of a more diverse and complex society to form, all of which helped Mesopotamia grow and flourish. Just remember, site factors are things that are located at a place, the natural resources, the climate, physical terrain, or different buildings, while situation factors are what surround a place and impact the development of the place. These factors describe a place in relation to other geographic features or places around it. If you're looking for more help and practice with site and situation factors, make sure to check out my ultimate review packet for some extra practice. Understanding the different site and situation factors that define a place not only helps us understand why a settlement is located where it is, but also helps us understand what human activities will occur there and how the settlement will grow and change over time. Today, when trying to understand why a settlement changes, we can often look at a couple different factors. The first being changes in transportation. As transportation methods improve, it allows for people and places to connect more easily, which not only allows for people to get from place A to place B quicker, but it also increases the amount of goods and services being moved between different places. Changes in transportation can also impact where people live and impact the size of a settlement. For example, in the United States, we can look at how cities around the US were impacted by the interstate system. The interstate system connected cities around the United States, which made it easier for people to travel between different cities, since it took less time to get between different places. But it also led to an increase in suburbanization and urban sprawl. So we can see there are a variety of positives and negative consequences to the interstate system. Over time, as more people moved to the suburbs, we saw a decline of economic opportunities in urban areas, as businesses moved to the suburbs following both their workers and customers. Newly connected cities and settlements led to increased commute times and a larger reliance on automobiles instead of people taking public transportation, which increased the amount of air pollution. But at the same time, we saw cities start to specialize more in different services and over time address some of their challenges by implementing smart growth policies and sustainable practices. We will talk more about the different challenges and changes that urban areas face later in this unit, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the fun. Another major influence on urbanization and settlements is changes in communication and technology. Today, as the internet continues to become more widely available, we can see it's easier than ever to communicate with people around the world, all of which is impacting the spatial patterns in urban landscapes. Urban areas have seen people and businesses leave downtown areas in favor of working remote or from home. This has led businesses to question whether or not they should renew their leases in the central business district, or whether or not they should just have their workers work from home and save the money. One thing to think about here is that this change in how we work and communicate often has a bigger impact than just people not going into the office. Say, for example, a company employs employs 1,000 people, and those people traditionally go into the office every day, Monday through Friday. Those 1,000 people do not just drive to work and go home. They also stop at gas stations to fill up their cars, go to local restaurants to eat lunch, run errands after work or while on break, and might even go to a restaurant or bar after work to spend time with coworkers. So if the company decides to have its employees work from home or come into the office only one time a week, it not only changes the amount of people on the roads, but it also impacts a variety of other businesses in the area. Changing gears from advancements in communication and technology, we can also see the impact that economic development has on settlements and urbanization. As societies continue to advance economically, we see more people migrate from rural areas to urban areas. Urban areas traditionally offer more economic opportunities due to the amount of people and businesses that are located there. But at the same time, increased urbanization also leads to a high population density in a city, which often increases rent, home prices, and reduces the affordability of a city. Cities that fail to keep up with a growing urban population and fail to create enough infrastructure and support for its residents risk the creation of informal settlements. As urbanization and economic development occur, we also see changes to a country's demographics. As development occurs, it is normal to see the TFR decrease, as having a larger family starts to become more uncommon. In fact, most urban areas often grow through migration and not through natural births, since it's no longer economically advantageous to have a larger family in an urban area. As countries and societies move farther along the demographic transition model, we can see that eventually migration patterns start to shift. Countries that are in stage 2 of the demographic transition model are more likely to see residents move from rural areas to urban areas. However, as the country develops and gets more into stage 4, we start to see counter-urbanization occur, as more residents move out of urban areas and move into the suburbs. One other influence on urbanization that I want to mention is government policy. Today, we can see the impact that different government policies, regulations, and taxes have on a settlement. Cities that have residents struggling to afford their soaring land and rent costs may see the city step in and implement a price ceiling on rent. A price ceiling puts a limit on how much can be charged for a particular good or service. This is meant to help make certain goods and services more affordable for citizens, but it also could have the unintended consequence of creating shortages, as businesses may reduce the production of the good or service that is impacted by the price ceiling, since they no longer can charge a higher price for the good or service, resulting in less revenue for the individual or business. As cities continue to expand, they also often expand the services that they provide for their residents. This can help drive economic and social growth, but it also increases the amount of money it takes the government to run and operate the city, which often leads to higher taxes in urban areas, making it more expensive to live in the city, which may have the unintended consequence of pushing residents that once called the city home out, since they no longer can afford to live in the area. But on the other hand, we can also see the government offer certain tax breaks or incentives for businesses and people to move to an urban area, which can help increase economic opportunities in a city. Today, cities are connected with other cities, not only in the country in which they reside in, but cities around the world. Changes in transportation and communication continue to reshape the spatial patterns of urban areas, migration patterns, and the economic and social opportunities that a city can offer. Cities now can specialize in certain industries and trade with other cities to get more goods and services than ever before. Government policies continue to shape the way that cities function and to operate, all of which influences the opportunities that exist for people. We can also see that as specialization happens in cities, it leads to a strong sense of place being created in many urban areas, as cities may become a manufacturing hub of a region, while others focus on healthcare, education, or tourism, each forming their own identity. No matter what a city does, we can see that these changes help create a unique cultural landscape and identity for each city, all of which will undoubtedly continue to shift and change as time goes on. All right, geographers, now comes the time to practice what we have learned. Once you answer the questions on the screen, go down and check your answers in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and check out my ultimate review packet for more help with your AP Human Geography studies. The packet is a great resource that'll definitely help you get an A in your class and a 5 on the national exam. As always, I'm Mr. Sinn. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time online.